Welcome to my webinar from confusion to clarity. So, in this webinar, I'm going to be discussing how you can discover and align with your life purpose. The actual goal of this webinar is to assist you in transitioning from the emotional overwhelm like fear, indecisions to a more grounded sense of direction and purposeful action. So, in other words, the essence of this webinar is not just to inform you, it's not just to show you something new, it's not just to tell you what I've known, but it's actually motivated to drive you to take action, actions that will provoke the needed change that should occur within you, which indirectly and automatically transitions or evolves into the change that should cause an impact around you with your life purpose. So by the end of the day, I must have taken you from that point of indecision to the point where you are taking meaningful action. So I'm going right to introduce who I am to you. My name is Ikwago Igwe Carlo. So I am a life purpose coach with over 20 years of experience helping people like you move from confusion to clarity. And I live from confusion to clarity so that you can live intentional, purpose driven confidence. My journey began in the field of architecture, and I am currently pursuing a PhD, which gives me a unique lens, right, for helping others design lives that are both meaningful and structurally sound. So over the years, I have created several impactful online courses, which includes how to align your career with your purpose. And that online course has helped several people all over the world. And I've authored books that have guided countless individuals across Africa and beyond toward deeper self awareness and purposeful action. So, what sets me apart is my practical yet deeply empathic approach. I don't just speak about purpose, I walk the path with you, offering tools, truths, and the kind of guidance that creates lasting transformation. I've been happily married for over 10 years and I am a proud father of two amazing children. I live in Abuja, Nigeria, where I lead a thriving community of purpose seekers. And I coach clients one on one. And I host transformational master classes, which you are in one of them today, all right, that help people reclaim their clarity, confidence, and calling. So if you're ready to stop wandering and start living with intention, I would be honored to walk the journey with you. So, and we're beginning that journey with this webinar today. So, I'll get right into it. How do you move from that point of confusion to the point where you have gained clarity? That is the big question. So, let's get into it. So, I'm going to take you through 7 steps that will take you in on that journey from confusion to clarity. And the first step we are going to take today is a step where you are going to admit that you are confused. Now, the truth is, you can't heal what you are hiding. Clarity begins with confession, it begins with honesty. The reality is people do not own up to the fact that they are confused. People do not accept that they are confused. People do not accept confusion. You might be watching me right now and you are telling yourself, am I really confused? I don't think I'm confused. I know what I want. I know where I'm going to. I wasn't confused when I signed up to join this webinar and all that. But the truth is, so many people are trying to figure it out while pretending that they already have it. But the point is this, that pretending drains clarity because it gives you a false sense of the reality. You want people to see you as someone who is sure, someone who is confident, someone who is not confused. That is how you want people to see you. But deep within you, you know what you are trying to hide. And for the fact that you are hiding something signifies that you can't heal from, that state of confusion to the state of clarity is a state. So that pretense begins to drain the clarity that you are trying to gain. Clarity starts when you stop performing, when you stop pretending. And the truth is, confusion isn't a cause, it's simply a signal that something deeper needs attention. Confusion is not a bad place to be in, it's actually a signal. It's like what we call failure. It's like what we call failure. People see failure as something bad, something negative, an evil omen, and all that. But the truth is, failure is actually a feedback. And that's the same thing with confusion. Confusion is equally a feedback to tell you that, hey, guy, you are not there yet. You are not there yet. You have a whole lot of miles to cover. So it's a feedback that there is something deeper in you that needs attention. Take, for example, when you are driving a car and you start having that, you start seeing that flash, on your dashboard, check engine light, all right? At that point, the check engine light is not that problem that the car is having. The same thing, confusion isn't the problem. So the check engine light you're seeing on the dashboard is actually a message pointing to something under the hood, under the bonnet of the car. That is how confusion is. Confusion is a message pointing to something within you that there is an attention that needs to be put in one or two areas of your life. So it's a personal message. It's not something that you throw out to the whole world, but it's your own personal message, your own personal story that lets you know that there is something that needs to be attended to. And that's why you are here today. That signal has been flashing, and somehow you are here listening to me, watching me, participating in this webinar. And we are going to open up the hood and find out what is the problem. And now a lot of times when you get this signal, what you automatically do most times is that you start spiritualizing it or you start denying it. You start denying it. Say, I'm not confused, or you attribute it to spiritual forces that are against you. All right, and you start approaching it and attacking it the wrong way, okay, by praying about it, doing all the spiritual activities we do in order to drive the confusion away. But confusion doesn't mean you are far from God or your purpose. Like I said, it's simply a signal. It's a signal that invites you to pause and go deeper within you. Confusion is not for you to go out there seeking for answers. All the answers you are looking for is right there within you. That is why this webinar is calling you to go deeper within. Personally, is an invitation to pause and go deeper within you. So I'm going to ask you this question right now. What area of your life feels confusing right now? I want you to note this question down. If I need you to get a pen and paper and write it down. Okay, what area of your life feels confusing right now? And what emotion is hiding beneath that confusion? Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it pressure? What have you been trying to hide from the world? What have you been pretending to be? What is driving that action you've been taking so far? Is it fear of what people will say, fear of the unknown, fear of what will happen? All right. Is it shame? All right. You feel that people are going to laugh at you if you do this, and so you want to pretend in such a way that you feel people will not laugh at you. Is it pressure? From maybe from trends, what's in vogue, what people are talking about. Is that what's driving you right now? So what emotion is hiding beneath that area of your life that feels confusing? So my question again is, what area of your life feels confusing right now? And the second question you're going to answer is, what emotion is hiding beneath that confusion? Is it fear? Is it shame? Or is it pressure? So the second step we're going to take is a step I have called disconnect to reconnect. It's a step where you're going to disconnect and reconnect. I know the why you need to reconnect is that a lot of times we disconnect and we fail to reconnect, and we feel that it is a connection that is a problem, but actually it's not. All right, it's what you are connecting to. So the idea behind disconnecting to reconnect is actually for you to get into the point, the place, the state of silence. So silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. That's why you need to get into that state of silence, because it is in silence you find all the answers you need. Now, the truth is, you can't gain clarity if your mind is overcrowded with opinions, expectations, and the noise. You know, opinions from people, opinions from family, opinions from friends, opinions from the media, opinions from what's flying around, opinions, all right, in the comment section, opinions from all over the place. So all these opinions and ignorantly they begin to crowd your mind. When you want to reason, you're now reasoning from the lens of the opinions that you have entertained so far. And these opinions, they come with expectations, they come with so much noise, like social media, family pressure, religious performance, success comparison. Now, all these things block your inner voice. They block your inner voice. They block you from listening to yourself. Take, for example, a young Nigerian feels often forced to chase the big three, which is money, marriage, and relocation. Now, these voices are so loud, but are they true for you? Are they true for you? Yes, you need money. Yes, you need to be married. Yes, you need to relocate to a better place, that offers you better opportunities. But when you sit down and begin to examine all these three, you realize that there's really no need for them to be so noisy. These are things that you can sort out when you put things in the right place. So this step, you know, motivates you or directs you or creates that awareness that you need to get into the place of silence, into the place of stillness. Is a step you need to take in order to move from that state of confusion to that state of clarity. So, stillness, a lot of people think it's laziness, that you are still doing nothing. No, but stillness isn't laziness, it's sacred. Your soul already knows what you need, but it speaks in whispers. So, you need to come to that point of silence. You disconnect from every noise around you and you reconnect to clarity by disconnecting from the chaos. So I'm going to ask you to do an activity right now. All right. So I want you to, I want to take you through a breathing exercise. I'm going to do a breathing exercise right now. All right. So sit upright. Okay. I want you to sit upright. Or if you're lying down, I want you to just get up, sit upright. Okay, and we're going to do a breathing exercise right now. Let me show you what I mean by getting to that stillness. Okay, so I want you to take a deep breath. Put your okay, I'm sure you're using your phones. Okay, but just close your eyes. Take a deep breath while you're sitting upright. Okay, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Now hold your breath. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Now I want you to exhale gently. Gently exhale. Perfect. Now take another deep breath again. This time around, make it longer. Take it all in. Take it all in. Now hold it there. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Now gently exhale. Now, I encourage you to repeat this from time to time, each time you want to get into stillness. And when you do this, I want you to become aware of where you are. Become aware of what's inside you. Become aware of what's going on in your mind. Become aware. Now you begin to filter out, what should I, keep? What should I return? What should I allow to go out? Right? This is you reconnecting with your silence. Now, I'll take you to where this particular step leads you to. It leads you to the point where you begin to ask better questions, which is a third step. Now, clarity is not in the answer, it's in the quality of questions that you are asking. So instead of asking, what is my purpose? What is the meaning of life? Those are two big questions. They are so vague and they can feel overwhelming. And that's why you've been overwhelmed with these emotions all this while. That's why this confusion keeps glaring before you. That's why it's as if clarity is something that is far from you, because you've been asking the wrong questions. You're asking, what is my purpose? What is the meaning of life? Those are two big questions. They are too big. So, this is because purpose is practical and personal. So, you need to ask questions that engage your story and your gifts. questions that engage your personality, questions that engage your abilities, questions that engage, all right, your giftings, your strengths, your graces. So these questions, so you're going to start asking better questions. Questions like examples I have on the slide there. It says, what energizes me and makes me feel alive? And I want you to copy out this question, write it out, and actually answer them. What energizes me and makes me feel alive? The next question is, what do I feel? Who do I feel drawn to help? The third one is, what injustice do I naturally notice? And the fourth one is, what kind of problem am I wired to solve? Now, when you consider these questions, they are right there on the screen. Okay. When you take these questions and begin to answer them, it begins to take you through a journey. It begins to give you a clue of what to think about. It begins to give you a clue of what to do when you get into stillness. So I need you to answer these questions, write them out, and provide the answers. What energizes me more than it exhausts me? Whose pain do you naturally notice or care about? What's a conversation you could have for hours? Okay, so these questions are revealing. There is no one size that fits all. The answers you're going to give today will be different from the ones you're going to give tomorrow. So it's I encourage you to continually revisit these questions from time to time. So if you keep asking questions that shame you, questions like why can't I figure this out, you stay stuck. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. You stay stuck. Keep asking yourself questions like, "What is my purpose?" Questions like, "What's the meaning of life?" You get overwhelmed. It provokes emotions that are not good for you. Okay, so ask better questions. The questions that you're seeing on the screen. What energizes you and makes you feel alive? Make the questions personal. Who do you feel drawn to help? What injustice do you naturally notice? What kind of problems are you wired to solve? So these questions are going to reveal a huge part of you, taking you to the next step, which is pay attention to patterns. I think this is a fourth step. Pay attention to patterns. Now, clarity often hides in repetition. What people constantly come to you for, experiences that keep repeating in your life, and things you naturally gravitate towards. And the truth is, your life leaves clues. Your story is speaking. The question is, are you listening? Your story is speaking every day. Your story is being written every day. Are you listening? Are you reading it? Are you observing it? Are you paying attention? So pay attention to patterns. So often, what you are called to do constantly is already present in your story. Look at what repeats. What do people come asking you for all the time, constantly? When people call you, when people need your help, what are they always asking you to help them with? So these are clues. Clarity often hides in repetition. What is always repeatedly happening in your life? What are the struggles you have overcome? What are the compliments you always receive? What are the roles or tasks that you naturally step into? So you see, these questions are things that you can answer for yourself. You don't need anybody to give you these answers. You can honestly give yourselves these answers. And by the time you supply these answers, you see that you are already walking, all right, in a particular pattern. So, for example, someone who has always been the go-to listener might have, coaching or mentoring or healing gifts, even if they don't realize it yet. Someone who people always come to ask questions, all right, ask to solve this question, ask to give their opinion about it. That's a clue that you can be a teacher. So these are clues. They are not the actual answer, but clues help to make the picture clearer. And that is the whole essence of clarity. So in looking at clues, in paying attention to patterns, you also need to consider what annoys you, what angers you, or what or activates you, what gets you riled up, what gets you angry, what annoys you. Right? Those are things you need to also pay attention to because they are patterns, they are clues. And the truth is, God is not random. Even your detours and delays have directions inside them. God is not random. Those things were not randomly put inside of you. Some say I am hot tempered. Some say I am cool. Some say I am very observant. Some say I am a good listener. Those are clues. They are not random. God intentionally put them inside of you. So, but until you begin to consider them, until you begin to pay attention to them, you begin to look at them from different perspectives, you will still be in a state of confusion. So, here's an activity you're going to do. I want you to list three patterns that you have seen in your personal life, work, or relationship. Patterns. Now, I'm not talking about patterns in the life of other people. I want you are the focus, you are the subject. Patterns in your own life. So, list out three patterns you've seen in your personal life. Probably after this webinar, we can have a conversation on them. So it's that important. These are things that we can have a conversation on. And these are things I love talking about. I love discussing patterns with people. All right. So I'll be looking forward to having that conversation with you. So that takes us to the next step from clarity, from confusion to clarity, and that is a step of start where you are. Don't wait for a perfect vision. Clarity grows in motion, not in waiting for a perfect plan. Many people say I'll start when I am sure, but the truth is you get sure by starting. You don't need a big vision to start moving. Just take the next meaningful step. It gets clearer as you start moving. So, for example, you don't need to launch a business. Maybe you just need to volunteer. You don't need to write a book. Maybe you just need to start a blog or a voice note journal. Or you just need to make that post on Facebook or make that post on Instagram or write that article or do a volunteering. So you don't need to wait until it's a grand vision before you make a move. Like I said, you don't need to launch a business. Maybe you just need to volunteer. You don't need to start something big. Maybe you just need to do the little one you can do right from where you are. So stop overthinking and start experimenting. Why are you afraid to experiment? Why are you afraid to try? The truth is, God trusts those who move with what they've been given. I am a Christian and I am always fascinated by stories in the Bible, parables by Jesus. All right. And he told a parable called the parable of the talents. Okay. That where he said the man gave this one five talents. This one was given um, two talents. This one was given one. Okay. The one with five moved on and threaded with it. The other one with two moved out and threaded with it, but the other one stayed where he was. He was waiting for something big. He gave himself different excuses and justifications why he shouldn't move, why he shouldn't experiment, and he started overthinking of who his master was, kind of person he is, and all that. Okay, and he didn't move, and at the end of the day, the people that made the move got rewarded. They had profits. They doubled what they moved with, and they kept going. They gained clarity. But the one that didn't move was stuck in his confusion. Okay, so God trusts those who move with what they've been given. You want God to trust you with more? Do something with the little that you already have. So I'm going to ask you to do an activity with this step, and which is, what is one small step you can take this week that aligns with what matters to you? So the question is, what matters to you? What do you want out of life? Where do you want to be? What ideas do you have? So write down what small step that you can take this week that aligns with what matters to you. And that's personal. So when you start from where you are and you are not waiting for the perfect vision, you move on to the next step, which is find a community and mentorship. Sometimes or all the time, you can't see yourself clearly. Clarity often comes through connection, not isolation. Many people stay confused because they are trying to figure life out alone. But mentors, coaches, and trusted friends can mirror what you are missing. You need people who reflect your truths, not just agree and not just people who agree with your fears. Don't always find people who solidify your fears. Pity parties who reinforce your weaknesses, who reinforce your seeming disadvantages, who reinforce your fears. Those are not the right people to hang out with. You need to find a community of people who motivate you to break away from your fears. So ask people that you trust their opinion, people that you hold in high esteem. What do you see in me? They will give you an honest answer. Find safe spaces where you are not performing. Don't hang around people where you need to perform, where you need to pretend, where you need to assume a role in order for you to gain acceptance, in order for you to get affirmation, in order for you to get validated. So that is not the right place for you. It blurs your vision. It keeps you in confusion because when those people are not there, there is nothing for you to do because there is no audience for you to perform for. You've not thought about it that way. That you've been performing. And the funny thing is, the people you are performing for, they do not give a damn. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. So find safe spaces where you are not performing, where you are just being who you are. And those safe spaces are among mentors, coaches, and trusted friends. For example, you may have clarity, but you lack courage. So, what happens is that a mentor provides both. A mentor provides clarity and he also provides courage. So, I'm going to ask you now, and you're going to answer this question. Who in your life brings clarity when you speak with them? Have you reached out to them lately? There must be someone in your life. It could be a spouse, it could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a senior colleague, it could be a senior friend that each time you interact with them, there's some level of clarity you get. There's some level of confidence you get. There's some level of seriousness you get. So who is that person? I want you to identify that person in your life and write it down. And if you can't think of anybody, then that means you need a coach, you need a mentor that can, you know, provide clarity and courage. So that takes us to the final step today. And I am so excited about this final step. And that is a step called be willing to evolve. Stay flexible and trust the unfolding. The Your purpose is not a job title, it's a journey. It's not a job title, it's a journey. Too many people treat purpose like it's fixed, but your purpose grows as you do. It's about you. So if you are not growing, then clarity will be at the level, you'll still be at the level of confusion and there is no clarity coming your way. So too many people treat purpose like it's fixed, but your purpose grows as you do. What saved you in one season may not save you now. You are allowed to change. Don't stay stuck with yesterday. You are allowed to change. Nobody says you should never change. And you know what? When you meet people, maybe old classmates, and you catch up and they say, "Ah man, you've never changed." Man, that is not a compliment. That is a feedback to let you know that you are not evolving. So don't be loyal to an old version of you. It's not enough. Some of you are so loyal to the old version of you. You still want to be known as a jester. You still want to be known as the one that cracks all the jokes. You still want to be known as the one that takes stupid risks. You still want to be known as this, as that. And those identities, those tags had served their purpose, has lived out their functions in your life. It's time for you to move beyond that. Those things are not titles. Don't stay stuck to a title. Be willing to evolve. Stay flexible and trust the unfolding. Why are you afraid of what you can become? So confusion often means you've outgrown your current definition of purpose. Your definition of purpose 10 years ago is no more your definition of purpose right now. Things are changing. Your purpose is changing. It's evolving and you need to evolve with it. So confusion a lot of times is that you have refused to outgrow the version of purpose you knew before. So right now, the version of purpose you should be living in now You can't marry both of them. So it brings that confusion, it brings that frustration, it brings that disparity. And that's why you are restless. For example, someone who once wanted to be a doctor may realize their deeper purpose is to heal, but not necessarily through medicine. It could be to heal through words. It could be to heal through singing. It could be to heal through acting. It could be to heal through so many things. But because your definition of purpose about of healing is by being a medical doctor. So, but when you allow yourself to evolve, you realize that this world has options. Life has options for you. You don't have to view life from the ways the system has structured it. So, I'm going to ask you right now, what dream or label do you need to release so you can grow into the next version of you? What dream or label do you need to release so you can grow into the next version of you? Your title today might be a music director, but is that really who you are? Your title today might be a pastor, but is that really what you are called to do? To gather people in a room and start pastoring and start doing what has been frustrating you all this while. So, what dream or label do you need to release so you can grow into the next version of you? And that is the final step I'm leaving with you today. So, let's go through, let's do a recap of what I've talked about so far. Okay. Um, so, the first step you need to take is that admit that you are confused, that honesty, that confession with yourself. Admit that, man, see, I am confused, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually confusion is a feedback, right, to let you know that there is something deeper within you that you need to pay attention to. Then when you do that, when you admit that, you disconnect from the noise and reconnect with the silence within you, where you go into the next step, which is asking better questions. And those questions are, what energizes you and makes you feel alive? What do you feel, drawn? Who do you feel drawn to help? What injustice do you naturally, notice? And what kind of problems do you feel wired to solve? And when you start asking better questions, it takes you to the next step, which is you start paying attention to patterns. Patterns like what people consistently come to you for, what experiences that keep repeating in your life, and the things that you naturally, gravitate towards. And when you start paying attention to these patterns, right, it takes you to start taking action, which is start from where you are, not waiting for the perfect vision, but starting from where you are. That clarity grows in motion and not in waiting for a perfect plan. And when you start taking those steps, you need to now find a community, right? A community that challenges you, a community that challenges you to move forward, a community that gives you courage, community that gives you confidence, not a community that agrees with your fears. And when you find that community, be willing to evolve. And that is where you realize that you shouldn't be loyal to the old version of you. Give yourself the permission to change. Change begins with you. Your purpose, can evolve. What it was yesterday might not be what it is today. There are several options available with your purpose. And that brings us to the end of this webinar. So, right now, I am ready to take your questions. If you have questions to ask me, go ahead and type them in the comment section, in the chat section, and I'll respond to them swiftly. You can send me an email. All right. Um, you can send me an email in the email on the screen, and you can connect with me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, key with the handle there at Equal Igwe. So thank you. Let's walk this journey together. Clarity is not an achievement, it's a practice. And purpose is not a destination, it's a direction. Let me say that again. Clarity is not an achievement, it's a practice. And purpose is not a destination, it's a direction. I want you to hold on to that. Make sure you connect with me. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notifications button to be updated with whatever I put out there. And follow me on my social media handles, and I'll be glad to connect with you. I hold one on one sessions with clients, and I'll be so glad to sit in a room with you, either virtual or physical, and we'll have meaningful conversations that will drive you into becoming the better version of you. Your purpose is worth it. So it's worth every investment you can make in it. So I'll uh yeah, it's worth every investment you are going to make in your purpose. So I'll see you in the community, either in WhatsApp or in whatever platform that we are communicating on. Be the best that you can ever be. You are not the person of yesterday. You have moved beyond that. So, once again, clarity is not an achievement, it's a practice. And purpose is not a destination, it's a direction. Thank you for staying with me in this webinar. And I am sure we're going to continue this conversation beyond now. Cheers.